How do you think women's chess has evolved over the last few years?
Oh, very drastically. That's in a positive way. Like we have plenty of women tournaments, like invitation tournaments like Cairns Cup, Norway, and we also have the Grand Prix series.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of tournaments which are specifically aimed for women and also very good prize funds so that they could survive professionally. But way back when I became a grandmaster in 2002, like it was very difficult to be a professional.
Precisely.
So that way it's a very good sign that the future for women chess is much more brighter.
I think for me, growing up in this environment where women's chess has like continued to grow and blossom over the past decade, I think even like exponentially, it's been like really great. And I think the St. Louis Chess Club and US Chess have done a wonderful job in like increasing the prize fund and being like sort of the leaders for like giving such wonderful opportunities to girls and women in the US. And I think these tournaments, I play in a lot of St. Louis tournaments. They've definitely motivated me to like keep playing, keep improving, and to play in such like wonderful conditions against other top women. It has been wonderful.
Yeah, I can say that the situation is getting better. Still, we do not have so many tournaments as men do. But I think that the level of women's chess in general is getting better, and especially in some countries, the rivalry is very difficult.
And I absolutely agree. It's increased greatly, I want to say. And the rivalries are intense. They're very, very challenging here in the United States. The U.S. Women's Championships are getting really good. Why? Why are women improving so much?
I think because of the young girls, they want to become successful. They have opportunities, much more opportunities than, as you mentioned, many years ago. And
Right.
Why not? I mean, chess is a nice game. You can travel, you can meet friends.
Right.
I was so lucky because when I was 10 years old, it wasn't a lot of chess tournaments for women and prizes aren't very high. And I remember that I was 13 years old and I coming for the World Rapid and Blitz in Saudi Arabia. And it was the first tournament for women where was very high prize fund. And I even take 10th place, and in 13 years old, it was fantastic result. And after this, I was very happy to see that the prize fund, and we also have a lot of tournaments, Cairns Cup, Grand Prix, Grand Swiss. Sometimes I think I played in the women's chess tournaments more than in opens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really good. For example, after this tournament, I also will go for the World Cup and Grand Swiss and maybe European club team. So a lot of women's tournament.
Especially recent years, I think it has evolved a lot. I think it can be because of the technology, because of women's tournament. We have more and more nowadays. I think for young kids and young girls, it's more easier to become women grandmasters, IM, and so on, because they have much more opportunities than we had in their age. Yes, so I think it's good. And also conditions and prizes increased. So yeah, it's all good, of course.
To me, a major change that has happened is that players now have the liberty to choose for themselves. So if you look at my predecessors, such as Xie Jun and Zhu Cheng, once they formed their own family, they gradually quit chess and were no longer active. But now, if you look at my generation, increasingly we see women players, even after getting married, having their children, they continue to play. They continue to carry out a career, not only because they would like to do so, but also increasingly they're receiving support from their families as well. I think this is mainly a change in mentality, in the way that people think about their career, and that's one huge improvement that has happened in the last 10, 20 years.
Well, I think in general it's getting better and better. We have more women's chess player. We have more tournaments with great prize funds, which of course attracts a lot of women. We have a lot of young girls who are eager to beat all the records. So I think that we are doing great.
I think it's changed quite a bit in sort of the last, let's say like 10 years since I really started playing quite seriously. I remember like my first few like US Junior girls, they're kind of held in like these, we had like independent sponsors for them, and it wasn't anything very in the system, I guess. And so kind of every year it's like a question of whether or not we'll be able to play like the junior girls until I moved here to St. Louis. And yeah, I think the junior girls has been around for many years now, and hopefully will continue to be. I kind of see women's chess evolving, especially quickly in the last couple years. We had like the women's section of Norway Chess, which is great to see. We have the Cairns Cup now. So yeah, I think it's something that's very important, and I'm kind of happy to see it progress.
I mean, a lot than, since the beginning when we see the conditions and everything to now, of course, it evolved a lot more. And I think that also motivates us to do well and to give all that we can, because it's been 25 years I started my World Youth Championship, and the conditions evolved so much that I feel as a beginner and playing again and again for this to play our best. So this motivation is still there, I think, because of the evolving the tournaments of women's chess, the conditions, the stature of it. Definitely, I think it's hard to pinpoint one, but one of it I would say is the prize fund increased heavily.
Which
is very good. That's why I think one of the way for the people also to see, when they see the prize fund, they will be inspired too. So definitely, there are also the conditions of the tournaments. There are more and more important events now. I mean, I don't see myself sitting at home this whole year. There are so many important tournaments. So yeah, I hope it gets better, bigger, and I am there to compete.